Welcome back to the Curiosity Cave. Today I am going to go through part of the exhibit set. It's a complete run of every exhibit printed in 1947. And there was 64 total. 32 cards were brought over from the 1946, which is Salutation. So you will see some Salutation exhibits, which were also printed in 1947. And you'll see some of the nicest action photos used for exhibit cards. I believe the early days, they really had some awesome looking action cards. So we'll start off. There's 64 cards, and I'll try and keep it as short as I can. You'll recognize some of these cards from before, but they're all printed 1947. We'll start off with this Luke Appling that is a carryover from 1946 with a salutation on it. Love that black uniform. There's Charles Red Barrett, another salutation. I won't keep saying that each time, but I'll just keep going. Joe Beggs was kind of a tough card to find for me. It goes a lot of different prices. I finally found one at my price. Here's Hank Bowery. Chicago Cubs. Lou Boudreau. Cleveland Indians. Harry the Cat Brackeen. Nice pitching pose. I like those gloves. Rounding the bases, George Case. Phil Cavaretta. Jumping for the ball. Here's something you don't see a lot in the exhibits. Here's Spud Chandler. Horizontal card. And we'll go to the Cooper brothers. Pitcher Mort Cooper. And catcher Walker Cooper. Guy Curtright. If you have any questions about any of these cards, just leave them in the comments below, and hopefully I can get back to you as soon as possible. Oh, that one was trying to jump out of my hand. Murray Dixon. And Dom DiMaggio. And brother Joe DiMaggio. Some of the nicer ones I'm keeping in these card saver holders, card saver 4s for protection. I might get them graded for super protection. Here's Red Sox second baseman Bobby Doerr. Bob Elliott. Dal Ennis, Phillies. Bullet Bob Feller. He had a couple of versions that get carried over from 47. There's Dave Ferris. Joe Gordon, Cleveland Indians. Hank Greenberg. Orville Grove. The White Sox pitcher. Jeff Heath. Yankees outfielder Tommy Heinrich. Controversial Kirby Higbee. His name was part of the Jackie Robinson controversy. It's been discussed a lot of places. Yours truly, Tommy Holmes. Old Braves guy. Johnny Hop. Tex Houston. I've seen some of these guys in 52 tops and some of the Bowman cards. Here's Walter Judnich. King Kong, Charlie Keller. As soon as I can pick them up. Ken Keltner. Eddie Lake. Looks like he's trying to skip a rock on a lake or something. Buddy Lewis. Ernie Lombardi. Here's another horizontal, Hank Majeski. Marty Marion, another great player that should be in the Hall of Fame, maybe. Frank McCormick. The Big Cat, Johnny Mize. Stan the Man Musial. Kneeling. Al Newhouser. Of course, when I'm saying these were all printed in 47, there's other cards of the same version that could have been printed in 45, 46, 48, 49, 50. Like the Stan Musial was printed over several years. Here's a Ron Northey. Casually walking with bats on his shoulders. Andy Pafko. Claude Passau. Johnny Pesky, who had a pole named after him. The Pesky Pole. Howie Pollitt. That's quite the wind-up there. Pete Reiser. Red Chaindienst. That's a young red. Rip Sewell. Enos Country Slaughter. Nice Cardinal logo there. Eddie Stanky. He was a manager by the time I started collecting. Vern Stevens. George Snuffy Stirnweiss. Check out Keith at The Lonely Basement. He did a great story on Snuffy Stirnweiss the other day in a video. Ball Trout, Dizzy Trout. Back-to-back no-hitters by Johnny Vandermeer. Mickey Vernon. Bill Vassell. Not sure on pronunciation on that one. If I've mispronounced anything, let me know. Eddie Waitkus. Like to hang around deranged women, or deranged women like to hang around him. Dick Wakefield. Dixie Walker. Bucky Walters. Splendid Splinter, Ted Williams. Taffy Wright. And finally, the last one, Rudy York. Shout out to Brian Hodges. And I'll put the link to Brian and Keith down in my content or details description. So that's every card that was printed in 1947. And if you have any questions or want any checklist of certain years or the entire checklist from 39 through 46 or 47 through 66, please let me know and I'll gladly get that to you. So thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great week.